In this video, I'll show you how to send three-dimensional detail lines from Rhino to Revit in Conveyor version 5. For this example, we're using a cut fill exercise as a use case. So you can see on the Rhino side, I'm using a Grasshopper script that has been built to help place a site and shape a site on a sloped piece of landscape. Once we have this flat plane as we like it for a theoretical floor plate or slab foundation on a site, I'll open my Grasshopper script, and please don't be scared by this. You do not need to know how to use Grasshopper to use Conveyor, but I'd just like to show you the original contours that are available here. So we have these original contour lines and the modified contour lines. And I can actually bake these contour lines out. I'm continuing to bake out these layers. And for those who are not familiar with Grasshopper, baking just means I'm transferring them from their malleable Grasshopper parametric state into lines that are as if you've drawn them directly in the file. We can see now that there are these black lines, those are the original contour lines, and the pink lines, which are modified, and the slightly different, a little bit darker shade, which are the alternating 5-foot and 10-foot lines. If I go to our layers panel here, you can see the modified topography, that's this surface, the 5-foot contours, and the 10-foot contours, as well as the original topography. So what we need to do in order to send these over to Revit is first we'll start Conveyor by typing in Conveyor version 5 and selecting our units. And then we need to block this group together. Blocking is the proper method to send these detail lines over to Revit. And now that that is blocked, we'll open our Conveyor panel and set the category to component families as it's a block. And our type we could set to any type, but because we're using topography here, I'll set it to site. And then we will select Send to Revit. As this is imported, one of the first things you might notice is that the colors haven't transferred. So that's what I'll show you how to change next. And I should note that that is okay, as that is part of how this feature is designed to work. We'll go to our object styles in Revit, imported objects, and expand this imports and families menu. Now what we're looking for here is in this category, we'll be looking for the layer names from Rhino. So our modified contours are those ones that I was showing as a lighter pink for the 5-foot and a more of a dark magenta for the 10-foot. The modified topography itself is the landform, and the topography original is where we first started. Now, not only do you have the option to change the color of these elements, you can also change their line pattern and material. So we can change this solid line to potentially a dashed line for these contours. When we're happy with our changes, we can select the Apply option and hit OK. We're also able to look at this in a plan view. Where we can see each of those different colors of lines corresponding to our Rhino model. This expanded feature in Conveyor version 5 makes it possible for you to send line work, both 2D and 3D, from Rhino to Revit.